Hello, everyone. I have not checked in for fucking ages. And excuse the swearing, but over 50, don't give a shit. Um, I just want to have a quick chat, quick update um, about what's going on. But I'm going to tell you what's going on because it's the message that comes with this and the stuff that I'm learning medically. And it's quite astonishing what I've learnt. I'll give you the short message in case you don't have time, and that is the medical profession doesn't particularly know why. They don't want to know why something's happening. They want to fix the crisis. That's what Western medicine does. And I've had a conversation with my rheumatologist, and she has just got, sorry, super sweaty at the moment. I'm hot flushing. I've had a conversation with my rheumatologist as to why doctors don't go looking for why something has happened. And she just said to me straight out, it's not their job. It's not their job. It is their job to deal with the crisis. And I love this woman because she is direct. She also has listened to me about how my body reacts and responds. And this is one of the first medical professionals who's actually said to me, hang on, you don't test normally, do you? And I've realised this over the years is that when doctors give you medical tests, when your GP gives you a medical test, they are testing surface level bell curve. And that's it. And they go, all right, you appear in the majority of the bell curve, so therefore you're fine. What they don't do is go, there are outliers on each side of this bell curve, and they don't test normally. So even though someone might butt up against what is normal, it doesn't mean that they're healthy. I'm one of those people. And I believe that there are a lot of people out there that don't test on the bell curve because the bell curve exists to show people, the majority of people, there's still people out at these ends who can be getting very, very sick because nobody will take them seriously and because they fit into normal. You might be right on the edge of normal. I'll give you an example. My iron levels, so the normal base for iron levels is 30. If you ever look at your iron level test, you'll know what that means. I was testing even down to 9, and yet my GP was just like, we'll just give you a supplement, you're fine. When I was testing 29, 19, he's like, oh, you're close to normal. You're fine. Do you know what I know about that? He wouldn't listen to me that a lot of my life I've had very high natural iron levels, and somewhere in my 40s it dropped. And I suspect around the brain surgery. And then add on to that perimenopause with very heavy bleeding. He just went, you're still on the bell curve, you're next to the bell curve, you're well below the bell curve, but let's just give you a supplement. And I'm going, can I please have an infusion? I don't like putting artificial shit in my body, but I was at that point where I couldn't even drive the 15 minutes to the doctor's because I feared I was going to fall asleep. And he still wouldn't do it until my oncologist said, I need her topped up on everything. Then he did it. And guess what? 10 years of being fucking exhausted, only being able to work part-time, went away. No, I tell a lie. I still only work part-time because I'm dealing with other things that we'll get to. But so much of that brain fog where I had to nap multiple times a day, and it was written off to a brain tumour, then it was written off to perimenopause. Turned out to simply be I don't operate on what is considered normal iron. I operate on high levels of iron, in which case all of a sudden my brain came back after 10 years. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about is you must self-advocate. If your doctor doesn't believe you, find another doctor. And in saying that, I'm not saying if you are hypersensitive let's be honest, a hypochondriac. And I hate that word. But because I've had it labelled to me many, many times, but every time I have pursued something and just gone, something's wrong, I've been right. And you just need to find doctors who believe that you understand your body. So it comes back to self-advocacy. You're the expert. The doctors are your employee. The Western doctors, the alternative doctors, the complementary therapists, all of them, they are your employee. You are the CEO. You are the CEO of your body. Nobody gets higher than you. And I mean, I'm not corporate, so there may be someone higher. I don't care. You own the company. If you are not happy with what someone's telling you, move. I'm moving from my oncologist. Reason being, I thought he was bloody brilliant. He didn't mind me going vegan. He was just adamant that I must get enough protein and enough of the nutrients. I still haven't been recovering that well from the breast cancer, from the jaw surgery, from the adrenal tumor and the removal of the adrenal. I've not still recovered that well. My brain's come back to a certain extent. I'm not napping every day sometimes, but I'm still crashing and burning. I'm having times when I crash and burn and it's like, can't even put a sentence together without really working hard. It's been written off to perimenopause because I'm 52. I know a lot of you are hearing me right now. I'm 52, this exhaustion, I have been in so much pain, particularly my feet, a lot of lower back and hip pain, a lot of that's been really difficult. It gets worse and worse during the night. So I'm at my worst during the night when I'm trying to sleep. I've always slept badly. It's just a thing. I've always woken up in pain. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. I didn't know people don't wake up in pain. I found out recently that that's not normal. So I've also found out recently that we in my family have certain genes. There's a gene that runs through certain members of our family that is linked to an autoimmune condition in arthritis. Now I have what they call, I think it's polyarthritis, multiple joints, hand, feet, knees, and it's been coming worse and worse. And so it was just written off as you're 52, you're perimenopause, moving into menopause, and it's just a bit of arthritis. Doesn't mean I can walk properly in the mornings. Every morning I struggle to walk, and people just wrote that off as normal. I found out we have this gene in our family, and that we have a number of indicators for autoimmune within our family. I went to my oncologist and said, hey, look, this is happening in the family. These are my symptoms, and I do my medical research, and I don't just go to Google forums. I go to like Mayo clinics, I go to medical studies and things like that because I believe in self-advocacy. And I went to him and said, look, this is in our family. And when I had all the genetic tests done, they only tested the cancer genes, because I've rung and asked them, what if they tested around these other genes, arthritic genes, autoimmune genes? His advice to me was don't go looking. Don't go looking for stuff, Kylie, you're fine, it's just your age. And I walked out of there fucking furious. I went to my GP and said, I want blood tests for this. And when I told him what I wanted blood tests for, he went, oh my God, have you not been tested for these things? And I said, no, I hadn't even heard of it until a couple of months ago. And he just burst out laughing and he's gone, I can tell you right now, you've got them. Because you have the classic symptoms. And he said that he wrote me the prescription on the spot. They've got a pathology close by. I went, like in the building, I went straight out and got the results. I got a call within days going, you need to come back to us. I was positive for the genes for these things. And he sent me, still sweating, he sent me to a rheumatologist. And the rheumatologist has just heard my story. And this is why I love her. She's gone, She's asked about my symptoms for each one of my things, for the brain tumour, for the breast cancer, for the pheochromocytoma, which was the adrenal tumour, for the jaw operation. She's asked me for my symptoms, and she sat back and she went, "You don't test normally." And I just, it was like, thank God someone listened. And so she just threw the net wide, and she's tested me for everything she can think of. This is why you must self-advocate and you must look for your doctors. I'm looking for a new oncologist. I'm not going back to that man who just went, "Don't go looking, it's just perimenopause." Do you know what? It could have been perimenopause. Could have been. I get that there's a lot of shit that goes down, and from what I understand, that's not normal. It's not normal to have massive brain fog, to get the end of a conversation before you even get to the end of the sentence. It's not normal to have so much pain. It is something that many women accept now, and it's probably because, I believe from my research, lifestyle. We've been on the pill for fucking ever. There are so many things we've done to our bodies which Western medicine says is normal. You go to the other guys, alternative and complementary, they're going, yeah, they fuck you up pretty bad. Don't necessarily believe them if you're experiencing a lot of symptoms. My rheumatologist, she's done a whole lot of tests. We were testing for alkalizing spondylitis, otherwise known as AS. It's an autoimmune disease based on arthritis. And yeah, I've got indicators that I quite possibly have that, but there's more tests to be done. What she discovered, though, completely unexpected to her and I, is I have tested, when you team it with the symptoms, I have been experiencing lupus for years. And people have written it off to the results of operations, to my age and things like that. She's just gone, no, when you put the pieces together and the certain tests about DNA, genes, a number of other things that she's tested, she just said, you are an atypical lupus presentation. And that in itself was mind-blowing, because then when I went and looked at it, I'm like, fuck me. That has been years where people have not believed something is wrong. People have written it off to my age, and it is extraordinary to suddenly go, it might be a matter of slight lifestyle changes. Because as you guys know, anyone who's bothered listening to these videos knows I work really fucking hard on my health. I'm sweating up a feast here. I'm going to remove these because they keep falling down. I work really, really hard on my health. And yes, I have gained 15 to 20 kilos in the last, say, 2 years. Uncontrollable. Doesn't matter what I do. I'm exhausted. Like I said, there's times I can't even walk in the mornings. And yet 5 minutes later, I'm uncomfortable, but I'm walking fine. And so it's not, people have written it off to arthritis. And it's like, hang on, arthritis is going to get worse the more I use it. Mine gets better the more I use it. And that nobody would listen to me. This whole video is about advocate for yourself. You are the only person who is riding this ship that you're in. That's it. Nobody else is the expert in this, the bodysuit, the meat sack, I don't care what you call it. This needs to get you through as long as you want to get through. So advocate for yourself. Me personally, I'm looking for a new oncologist. I'm getting new referrals to oncologists who will work with me and listen to me. I'm working with this amazing rheumatologist. She was brilliant because when I said, all right, I'm aware people can handle autoimmune naturally, she's just like, yep, you sure can. That's what you want to hear. If I can take the meds, I've got the prescription, you know. I'm not going to go hardcore, I have to do it naturally. I'm going to go, I want to do it naturally, but I'm also prepared to accept I might need some help because I'm chronic at this stage and I'm exhausted and I may not have the energy to push back and do it naturally. So give me the prescription. let me work at it. But if I feel I need to take the other stuff, I will. And, it's a combination of Western and alternative. I've found a specialist who's happy for me to do that. I've also found a specialist where I went, all right, the meds, if I take them, it's an anti-malarial med for the lupus. If I take them, one of the things is heart conditions. I've had some heart conditions over the years, so I said to her, I'm not even going to consider it until I get some current tests. She's like, great, good, let me refer you to someone. That was only 2 weeks ago, and I've already had contact from the specialists. That is what you want. You want a doctor who gives a shit. They're not just trying to get you out because they're already 30 minutes behind because they couldn't get someone out of their office. This woman will easily sit there for an hour with me, and yeah, I pay for it. I don't care. Totally worth it. Find your specialist. If you have to travel, if you have to go to the coast, if you have to fly to a capital city to get someone who will listen, do it, because it's your health and it's your life. So that's where things are with me. Rant. And I don't really care, because I hope someone will listen to this and go, do you know what? Something feels wrong, and I will go somewhere else and ask for advice on that. So that's where things are at. I'm working really hard on things. I also am acknowledging totally burn out by the end of the year, because I'm doing this, I'm working, and I'm exhausted. So I'm also being gentle with myself and going, do you know what? Sometimes you've just got to be a little gentle with yourself and not beat yourself up because you can't do everything today. So advocate for yourself. Listen to your body. Listen. And if someone just writes you off and that gut feel is wrong, go and find someone else. So I hope you're all well. If you're not well, listen to yourself. Go find someone else who will listen. And build your health team around what makes sense to you. Just to let you know quickly, my health team, I have an acupuncturist. I have a lady who's amazing. She's a naturopath, dietitian or nutritionist, I can never remember, and kinesiologist. So we talk to my body about what works. And guess what? What works for me doesn't work for the majority of people. And every time we've done that and she's sort of gone, not normal, but let's do it, it's been right. And I have a chiropractor who's amazing. And then I have Western medicine support. Get the support you need, whatever works for you. Don't let anyone judge it. So I'm pleased to drop in. I hope you're all well. And if this helps someone, I'm so happy for you. We'll talk soon.